Hi, my name is Singh. Uh, I'm here to explain about the window tint. The tint which is used for commercial buildings, residential houses, automobiles. Basically, what happens is you just go into a shop, a window tint shop, and you say, I want to get my auto tinted, or I want my tint at my home or in a commercial building. I'm here to explain the different kinds of tint which are available in the market. So you have a general view. I'll not go into very technical details how the tint is manufactured or what are the qualities, but I'll just broadly explain it. There are about I can divide it into four segments. I'll say one is the coated films, one is the dyed films, one is the metallized films, and one is the sputter films. Of course, there are many other kind of tints available in the market with little different technologies, but all the tints which are available, you can just bifurcate them into four categories. Let's start with the lowest category, which is the coated films. Now what happens is they take a piece of plastic and then another piece of plastic and they put a glue in between. So what you happen is you remove the part, clear part, and put it in the on the glass. Glass it may be a glass of a car, it may be a glass of a building or a house or wherever it is. But what they are trying to do is they are just the glue in the film. They put the color in the glue. So this is a clear plastic, this is a clear plastic, and the glue which is going to be used to stick on the glass, that glue is colored. That is called the coated films. They have a very less heat rejection. The quality is very poor. The tint has a tendency to fade within 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, or change its color. And there's a problem in installing also. When you try to install it, sometimes the color comes off while installing it. So the manufacturer came with a very good idea. What they did is they took one plastic, then put a colored glue in it, then put another plastic, then put glue in it, and then put the clear plastic. So now what happens is when you remove the clear plastic, you cannot remove the glue with your hand. So it looks like it is dyed film, but it is not. It is coated, still coated. The life is very less. Above that, we'll put it as a second category. A little higher category is called the dyed film. So what happens is the granules or the soft pieces or the plastic, to be in a layman's term, what they do is when the granules are formed into a sheet of plastic, the granules are dyed. So basically the color is in the plastic, not in the glue, and then they put a glue on it and then put a clear sheet, so it becomes a dyed film. This is better film than the coated films. Now what happens in the dyed film is the glue doesn't come off. It is much more stable. It has a life of 5 to 7 years, and it has a heat rejection depending on the shade you pick up, from 23% to say 44%, depending on the quality of the manufacturer which is making. So this was the second category. Now let's go to a higher category, which is called metallized film. Now a lot of people will say, okay, we call it high performance, we call it optical, we call it metallized, we call it this name, we call it color stable films, we call it injected films, color injected, whatever the name they may give it, but the basic process is the same. So what they do is the thickness of the film is a little bit more. It is dyed film as usual. The granules are dyed and then they are made it into plastic, but they put an additional step on it. Additional step is they will metallize it. Metallize means they will put vapors of the metal and then let it settle down in the production process. And being a metal in there, the life increases a little bit, but the heat rejection increases more. So now the question comes is, what are we going to use the tint for? When I put it in my car, when I put it into my house, when I put it into my commercial office, what I'm using the tint for? Am I using it for privacy, or some people call it privacy, or I am using it for heat rejection? or I am using it for ultraviolet radiation blockage of that ultraviolet rays, UV rays what people call it, or there may be some other reasons If you are putting for only UV rays, that is like what happens, the upholstery in your car, the upholstery in your house, the carpet, the sofa sets and other things, they start fading. That is just because of the UV rays. Then even the coated film is good. Even though I don't recommend the coated films, they are made in Korea or somewhere else, they don't have the technology to make the dyed films or metallized film or the sputter films, the fourth category which I'm talking about, the sputter films. They don't have that technology, but even the coated films reject about 97% of the UV rays. But the life of the tint, the glue is less, so overall within 3-4 years your main purpose is going to be gone. I would recommend dyed films for that if you are just looking for UV protection. If you are looking for heat rejection, then you go in for high performance films. The high performance films is the metallized films, and sometimes they come in non-metal also. They reject more heat, and they are of course color stable. Some people call it optical films, color stable films, high performance films, and every manufacturer gives its own name. But that is the best recommended for auto. Now when you go into the buildings, these films work very nicely, very good in buildings also. Maybe it's your house or your office, they work perfectly alright. But in the buildings, I would recommend to go in for reflective films, because the reflective films are manufactured in a little different manner. They go through the same process, they have a lot of metal in it. The only negative part about reflective films, as the name suggests, they shine a lot. You must have seen the silver glasses, the grey glasses and all this thing. The best part is they go up to heat rejection of up to 80% or 78%. So you see, if you put it on a glass and 78% or 80% or 70% heat is rejected, so they will save you a lot on the electricity cost. They are recommended for the building. But the only problem it comes is because of their shininess, people don't prefer it in their homes, they prefer it in the commercial buildings. So in the homes, I would recommend you to go for metallized films, which I told you before how they are made. Then the fourth technology is the sputter films. Sputter film is totally a different technology, and these films are light in color. You don't find much dark shades in those colors, but they have a high heat rejection, very good clarity, and they don't fade or they don't change their color. Even the metallized film or the dyed films may change their color a little bit over the period of time.